I am going to show you how I bake perfect zucchini noodles. It's kind of a basic, but there's a few tips and tricks that I have so that your noodles are perfect every time. The first thing you want to do is, if you can, when you're picking out your zucchini, you want to get ones that are bigger because you'll get way more noodles from them. And if you can, get ones that are really straight, so that way you don't have to keep correcting and putting in the zucchini. So I have 4 zucchini here. You want to figure you want 1.5 to 2 zucchinis per person, which sounds like a lot, but they shrink down a bunch when you cook them. So the first thing I'll do is I'll cut the ends off the zucchini and I'll save these for the chickens. I have all the ends trimmed off my zucchini, so now I have out my spiralizer. I'll link to the exact one that I have. I love it. I've had it for like 5 or 6 years. It works great. I am using the smallest blade that gives you the littlest noodles. That's my favorite one. So now I'll put on the zucchini in the whole part right here. I line it up for the dead center of the zucchini. So I push it in there and then I'll poke it with the end. So now you'll spin it, and I do every 5 turns. I rip off the noodles because that's like the perfect noodle length for me. I don't want to go in and chop it after. So every 5 turns, I rip them off. And then if I need to, if the zucchini's curved at all, after I rip off noodles, I'll recenter it to the dead center. The noodles are all spiralized now. So the way that I clean this, I like this one because I can just rinse the whole thing off. So I'll pull the blade off and I'll rinse it off, and then pull this part off and rinse it off, and then let it air dry. As I was cutting the noodles, I was placing them in this colander that I have set over a bowl. So now, one of my biggest tips is you want to get out as much moisture before you cook them as you can. So to do that, I'm going to add in kosher salt. I'll link to the exact salt that I have that I love. I'm a major salt snob, and this kosher salt is the only one that I like. So I'm seasoning it very generously. This is going to do 2 things adding the salt. This is going to pull out a lot of the moisture. I'll show you at the end how much comes out. It's also seasoning the zucchini noodles. Like when you boil pasta and you add salt, you want to add in a lot of seasoning to make these taste really good. So now that I've added the salt, I just toss them around and kind of like gently massage it to get the salt all the way in there. Okay, it's all massaged in. Now I'm gonna let this sit. I mean, I usually let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes, but you could do like up to half an hour or whatever works best for your dinner cooking time frame. It's been 15 minutes and the zucchini noodles have just been sitting here. You can see some water's already dripped out, maybe like 2 tablespoons. But this is my trick to get the most moisture out. This is called a nut milk bag. You use it to make almond milk. You usually strain through the almond milk here to strain through all the pulp. So I'm gonna take these zucchini noodles and put them in here. I'll do a link to my nut milk bag. If you don't have a nut milk bag, you could use cheesecloth, you could use a dish towel. You could even use paper towels, but it doesn't work so good. They kind of tend to rip. So I will get all the zucchini noodles in here. Okay. You are gonna squeeze as hard as you can and get all the juice out. And I kind of do like a twist. So I'm twisting the bag tighter and tighter. It gets out so much water, and you can't hurt the noodles when they're in here. The more moisture you can get out, the better your noodles are gonna be later, because it just will take it all out before you cook it. Good arm workout. Just keep squeezing until you've gotten out as much as you possibly can. That's pretty good. I'm getting sore. But you can see how much, can you see? This is like 2 cups of zucchini juice. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna get questions to save this. You could probably, I mean, you could drink it. It's gonna be really salty. I'm just gonna dump this out. But I wanna show you, this is all the zucchini that you're left with. So that's why you wanna account for like 2 zucchinis per person. So this zucchini, you can eat raw. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like after. So this, you could do, just add your sauce right on top of this. I like to cook it just to warm it up because my zucchini was in the fridge, so it's still cold. So I like cooking it in a skillet with a little bit of ghee and sometimes a little garlic to add flavor, but you could definitely eat this raw as is. If you do want to heat it up, here's how I do it. I have my largest, this is a 12-inch ceramic coated green pan, so it's toxic free. I have some ghee in there, and now I'm gonna dump in the zucchini noodles that I squeezed all of the moisture out. and I'll toss them in here. You only have to cook them like a minute just to warm them up. And the nice thing is you'll see as you're cooking them, hardly any water comes out because you already squeezed it all out. So I'll just cook this for a minute to warm them through. I've been cooking them for a minute, so they're nice and warm through now. I just want to show you, look, as you're going through and tossing the pan, there's no like all the water run off because we already squeezed it all out. These are the best zucchini noodles. They are perfect every single time.